Hi, everybody. I am coming to you from my back porch. I'm outside, and I'm going to try a new way of teaching you guys some math today. Um, I'm going to be using Zoom. So I'm recording myself right now on Zoom so that I'm able to share my computer screen with you, and I can show you um, what I would normally put on the Promethean board to teach you. I can just show it to you on my computer. So hopefully that will be able to help us learn a few more things in a different way than we normally would. Okay, so for most of this, I'm going to be sharing my screen, and I'm just going to be talking you through some new teaching points that we have for this week. So this week, we are going to be talking about counting in different ways. So today, we are going to be working on counting by twos and counting by fives. So we are going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. So if it takes me a minute, just bear with me. Okay, so here's my screen, and you can see what I would normally have on the Promethean board. So today, I want you to think about how many hands a person has. So if I am just one person, I know that I have one hand and two hands. So as I do this, I'm going to go ahead and start filling out our chart. So I am one person, and I by myself have two hands. Okay. I would ask Mr. Lindley to join me, but he's working right now, or he's making lunch or something. Okay. So one person, me, myself, I have one hand and two hands. Okay. So what happens when we add another person to that? So now I'm using this. So this one person has two hands, and this person also has two hands. So if they both have two hands, 1, 2, I would keep counting, 3, 4. So once we move on and we have two people, we now have 4 hands. Okay. And then let me add a person to my drawing here. As we keep adding more people, our number is getting bigger by 2. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we have 3 people, we will now have, this is so hard. We will have 6 hands. Okay, if you notice over here in our people, we are only adding 1 each time. So I could go ahead and add 4, and then our next number would be 5 and 6 and 7, 8. Oh, this is so hard. And 9. Okay, so if we have 9, so I want you to go ahead and on your own think about what would come next after 6. So if I'm counting on 6, I'm going to count on 2 more. So here's how I did it. 6, and I'm going to count on 2 more. 7, 8. So if there are 4 people, that means there are 8 hands. Okay, and I can do the same thing. 8, 9, 10. Now there are 10. And now I can count on if there's 6 people, 10, 11, 12. I'm just adding 2 each time. 12, 13, 14. And then now I start with 14 in my head, 15, 16. And last one, 16, 17, 18. Cool? So that's how we count by twos. So I want you to think of some things that you could maybe count by twos. Some things that I was thinking that I could count by twos is that I have two eyes. So I could count the number of eyes that a group of people have. I can count those by twos. I know that I have two legs. I could count a group of people and how many legs they have by twos. I could also count my arms. I have two arms. You could count those by twos. And today, as your dojo, on your dojo assignment, I'm just going to hold up my shoe. I'm wearing my slippers. You can count your shoes by two. And that's what you guys are going to do as your dojo assignment, is counting your shoes by two. Okay, so let's go ahead and together we'll count by twos from 2 to 18, and then we'll move on and practice counting by fives. Here we go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Awesome job. All right, so now I'm going to clear this out, and I am going to move on over, and now we are going to look at hands and fingers. So last time we were looking at people and hands. So this time now we're going to be looking at our hands, okay? So if I have one hand, I'll add that to my chart. If I have one hand, how many fingers do I have on one hand? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. This next one should be pretty simple because we use this a lot. If I have two hands, which we all have two hands, how many fingers do I have now? 5. I counted from this hand. I already counted 5, and now I can count on 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, there we go. Now if we have 3 people, okay, so if I add another 5, so I can put 10 in my head, and I'm going to count on 5 more. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, and now if I have 4 hands, I'm going to put 15 in my head, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You notice how I'm just counting on 5 each time? Just counting on 5 more. All right, if I have 5, now I put 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, looking at this, I am seeing a pattern in the ones place. The pattern that I see is each time in the ones place, it goes 5, 0, 5, 0, 5. What do you think would be next here in the ones place? 0. So I already know that that's going to be a 0. And now look at our ones place. I also see a pattern going on there. There was 0 at first, and now there's 1, 1, and now 2, 2. So this one will have to be 3. Yeah, you guys got it. Okay, 3. So 30. If there's 6 people, I will have 30. Following that pattern for the last 2, I just had a 0 in the ones place, so now I should have a 5 in the ones place. And I had 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Okay, and then our last one, so we have 35. Our next one would be 40. I see a 4 in the tens place, and then I have to have a 0 next. Awesome. So let's go ahead and count by 5s, starting with 5, and we'll go all the way to 40. Here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Awesome job, guys. Okay, so I have a math words and ideas for you, and then we will be all done, and you guys will hop on over to Dojo to complete your assignments. All right. Ooh, it's getting windy. Okay, so we can count more quickly if we count by groups. Each time that you say a number, you have to add another group. So each group has to have the same number in it. Okay, so looking here, each hand has 5 fingers. So you can count by 5 to find the total number of fingers that are on these 4 hands. So when we're counting, we're saying the 5th number: 5, 10, 15, 20. We can also count by 2s to find the total number of shoes, and that is what you guys are going to do on Dojo. You are going to say every second number when you count by 2s, or you can count on by 2s each time. So I see 2 shoes here. I would say 2, skip 4, 8, 6, sorry, 8. So I can say 2, and I can also count on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And down here, it's talking about the number of toes, and we will be talking about counting by 10s tomorrow. I want to keep it simple. We're just going to do 2s and 5s today. Okay. So if I have this group of pennies, okay, we're going to practice counting them by 2s, and then we'll practice counting them by 5s, and you'll be good to go. All right, so let's start with 2s. I can circle, oh, it's not gonna let me do that. Okay, so I can count here. I can move these 2 and say 2. Then I can make another group: 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm gonna keep going. 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, and then I have 1 left. So I would just count that by 1s. So after, if I have 22, I would count 1 more to be 23. Cool? Alrighty, guys. So now you're going to hop on over to Dojo, and your job on Dojo is going to be to count all of your shoes by 2s. So you're going to go and find all of the shoes that are yours, and then count those by 2s. And then you are also going to count the number of fingers that your family has by 5s. So if I'm going to count my families, it's just me and Mr. Lindley here at home. So I would count my fingers here are 5. And then this side is 10. And then I would go count his, would be 15 and 20. So Mr. Lindley and I have 20 fingers in our house. And I want you to do the same. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful, and I will see you back tomorrow for our next math lesson.